You're going to keep that Western theme going here for Class 51 with a focus on the Transcontinental Railroad and the transformation of the West. And if you are watching this because you were absent, I started off class with a question I think is pretty cool. Where do you want to go? You know, you've seen Livonia, go see something else. And some of you opted to, do your thing by car. No problem. Get in the car. You want to go to Mackinac Island? Easy. Straight shot up 75 and you're there. You want to go to New York City? Get on the highway. You can go to New York City. A lot of this country is connected by highway. But some of you are saying, I don't want to get in the car. I want to go to the airport and do my thing by air. No problem. These are all the flights out of Detroit Metro Airport that you can go to all over the world, all over the country. A lot of cool places to see by plane. Now, not a super common method nowadays is going by Amtrack, getting on the train. And I love train travel. Not as much security as the airport. You have Wi-Fi, big comfy seats. You don't have to drive. You can just sit back and relax. And many times I've gone from Royal Oak to Chicago. Lots of good trips by train. Okay, now the point is you have the option to get out of town. You have many options to go somewhere else. You can travel. Okay, and that's a fairly new concept in our history, easy travel. Okay, but I want to focus here on rail. Now, this is the old school rail system, and you can see a lot of railways compared to the modern map. Not as many options, but you can see back in the day, railroads were king. And here's Detroit. It was a hub then. It's a hub now. Okay, so people were able, for the first time in history, to, in a fairly inexpensive way, get all around the country. If you were sick of where you were living, you could go somewhere else. Okay, and one last thing in our opening, what can one do when they travel? Okay, a lot of people are saying have fun. I mean, you're teenagers. Good, go have fun. Teenagers should have fun. But besides having fun, you can meet new people and have a variety of exchanges. You can exchange intellectual ideas, you can exchange love, you can exchange hate, you can exchange religious ideas, you can exchange in all sorts of ways, and it's cool to interact with different people. You can do business, okay? If you want to make some money, you can go do business, travel to try to get money elsewhere than your hometown. You can visit loved ones. You can migrate. You can get out of town and have a completely new home. If you want to, you can bond with people. When you travel, you bond with people. I put this photo of my father and I traveling to Italy, and we're in Rome there, having a good old time bonding. And you can broaden your horizons. The quote I'll say many times throughout this class is the best teacher you'll ever have is travel. I don't care if you have a favorite teacher, travel is a better educator than him or her. Okay, so that's the more conceptual side of it. Now here's the historical side of it. This is a major turning point in American history. At Promontory Point, Utah, May 10th, 1869. The country was officially connected from the Pacific Ocean to the Atlantic Ocean, and they had a big ceremony with a gold spike and a silver spike. No, it's not still there, but it was the fruition of the dream of manifest destiny. For decades, many people had this philosophy that this country should be filled in from the Atlantic Ocean to the Pacific Ocean. On this day, this came to be a reality, and America became one interconnected nation, which we remain. Notice it's after the Civil War. Okay, that's the whole one nation thing. Okay, from 1861 and 1865, not so much, if you follow me, okay? Now, there were two groups that built the railways. Not 100%, but the majority of workers on the railways were either Irish or Chinese, and they had a rough go at it. They were not treated well. And for the sake of time on this video, I'm not going to play these two, but in class, we listened to a song called Paddy Works the Railway by a band that was very popular in the 80s and 90s called the Pogues, an Irish band. And then we watched the video, Chinese Laborers Built the Railroad. It's not a song, a little more highbrow than the song. But hopefully from these videos, and please watch these two videos if you were absent, it will give you the story of what it was like to work on the railways. Okay, now once the railways were connected, and here's a photo from your book, 16.2, Connecting the Nations. Once the nation was connected, these four industries took off. And tons of people wanted to seek their fortune in these four industries. As they said at the time, obtaineth wealth or perish in the process. I'll interpret that into modern language, get rich or die trying. They didn't actually say that. I was just seeing if you believe that. But to reiterate from yesterday's class, farming, ranching, mining, railroad work, get that money. Okay, they saw an opportunity, and people from the East, immigrants, are saying, hey, I can seek my fortune and make a lot of money in these respective industries. Okay, so in addition to the railroads, okay, the railroads did connect the country. The railroads did facilitate a whole lot of movement of people. It did end this dream of manifest destiny. But the barbed wire invention changed the West as much. Okay, I'm not going to quantify it, but I would argue personally it is equally important. Hey, arguing, it's like AP or something. That's great. So these are all the different types of barbed wire, and notice the years. 1800s. Okay, there's about a 20-30 year window that this barbed wire came to change, or it came to change everything. Okay, if you follow that. So total game changer. Until barbed wire was developed, Western settlers had legal rights over their land, but no way of exerting practical control. Now, barbed wire is still used to fence off land around the world. I don't know if you've ever traveled out west, but there are still vast expanses of land with barbed wire as far as the eye can see. I've been to Wyoming, and it is just miles and miles of barbed wire. Now, animals were not lost as often as they were on the open range when they were vulnerable to predators and cattle rustlers. That was a really big crime at the time, people stealing each other's animals. In a lot of places, it was punishable by death to try to deter people from doing it, but it didn't deter people from doing it. So additionally, ranchers now had more control over the quality of the food their cattle consumed. It improved the meat quality, more money, more animals, you follow me. Now, opponents of barbed wire called it the devil's rope. Not everybody was real keen on this because it changed things that much, okay? And it's still used around the world, by the way. Okay, now like I said, not everybody was thrilled about it, and your book talked about Latino resistance in the Southwest, and they used a man named Gregorio Cortez as an example, okay? Now, he's not the only resistance, but he was the example given in the book. And Gregorio Cortez Lira became a folk hero to the border communities of the United States and Mexico. After an altercation in which he killed a sheriff, Cortez went on the run from Texas Rangers for 13 days. Okay, now he eventually was caught, but here's why he was important. The Cortez incident quickly came to symbolize the ongoing border conflicts, and the ballad that it inspired helped establish Mexican corrido as a means of expressing racial and cultural tensions along the border. So if you were absent, check out that section in your book on Cortez. And really the end result of all of this, again, taken from your book, in 30 years, look at the growth. Didn't have statistics, 142,000. From no statistics to 88,000. Some of this growth, look at Colorado, 34,000 to 413,000. Unbelievable. Look at California. Oh my gosh, like 0.8 million people showed up in a short amount of time. Okay, so this is the end result of this. This could not have happened without the railroad, which facilitated those other industries of ranching and mining and farming that brought people to the West, okay? And the assessment for today, we have 4 questions. We have the quick review on 474, the thinking historically questions on 478, and the quick review on 485. So kind of bookish today, but pretty straightforward. So if you were absent, use the PowerPoint, use this video, use your friends, use your book, okay, by any means necessary. Try to get the learning in and write these 4 answers using AP style, okay? Let's practice our writing. Let's get better at it. And that's what we learned today, and it is moving on to the Gilded Age tomorrow, okay? So thank you for watching.